just press the button. It'll go off. You got to make sure you turn it off because the batteries are replaceable on those. And in other words, they're not rechargeable batteries. All right. Yeah, it's a nice one. I got them just for you. Okay. We got everyone online here. Jaya Radha Madhuva Kunja Vihare Jai Radha Madhuva Kunja Vihare Gopijana Balaba Kirivardhana Gopure Gopijana Balaba Kirivardhana Gopure Yasodhanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tera Manachade Yamuna Tera Manachagoti Jai Hurat Omadava Kunya Vihagore Jai Hurat Madhova Kunya Vihare Gopijana Bharaba Idivadhagati Gopijana Malaba Idivadhagati Yasodhanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Padachate Yamuna Tera Panachati Jai Hurat Umadava Kunjabi Bhakti Jai Hurat Madhuva Kunjabi Bhakti Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravatikacharya, also Teta Sitashi Shimad, His Divine Grace, Abhaya Charanada Bhaktivedanta Goswami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Anandakoti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Vidas Thakur Ki Jai, Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shidwaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radhakrishna Gopakavata Sayam Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavanam Ki Jai, Maturadam Ki Jai, Jagannath Swami Ki Jai, Yamunamai Ki Jai, Srimati Lalasi Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So today we're reading from 10th Canto, 16th chapter, text 38. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Maybe you can open the window a little bit because whoever's cooking in the kitchen is also causing a conflagration in my lungs. So I don't know who's cooking this one. Yeah. Just a little. Just get some fresh air in here. Okay. Tad Esha Natapa Durapam Anyais Tamo Jani Kroda Vasho Api Ahishaha Samsara Chakre Brahmataha Saririna Yad Ichitaha Syad Vibhavaha Samakshaha. All right. Oops. Get back to the verse. Okay, that's good. Okay. Whoops, I think I got the wrong. No, it's not Brahma Samhita. I just lost the verse because I'm doing it on the lecture. I know it's 38, but I just lost it because I touched the wrong thing on here. I know it's 38. Tadeshanata Adurapamanjais Tamojani Kroda Vashopya Hisha Samsara Chakre Brahmata Sharirino Yad Ichitasyad Vibhavasa Makshaha Tadeshanata Padurapamanyais Tamojani Kroda Vashopya Hisha Sangsara Chakre Brahmata Sharirino Yadichitasyad Vibhavasa Makshaha Tadeshanata Padurapamanyais Tamojani Kroda Vashopya Hishaha Sangsara Chakre Brahmata Sharirino Yadichitasyad Vibhavasa Makshaha Tat, that. Eshaha, this Kaliya. Nata, O Lord. Apa, has achieved. Durapam, difficult to achieve. Anyahai, by others. Tamajanihi, who was born in the mode of ignorance. Krodavashaha, who was under the sway of anger. Api, even. Ahi Ishaha, the king of serpents. Sangsara Chakre, within the cycle of material existence. Brahmataka, wandering. Shariranaha, for the embodied living entity. Yat, by which dust of your lotus feet. Ichitaha, who has material desires. Syat, manifest. Vibhavaha, all opulences. Samakshaha, before his eyes. So, translation. O Lord, although this Kaliya, the king of the serpents, has taken birth in the mode of ignorance and is controlled by anger, he has achieved that which is difficult for others to achieve. Embodied souls who are full of desires and are thus wandering in the cycle of birth and death can have all benedictions manifested before their eyes simply by receiving the dust of your lotus feet. Wow. So you can repeat. O Lord, although this Kaliya, the king of the serpents, has taken birth in the mode of ignorance and is controlled by anger, he has achieved that which is difficult for others to achieve. Embodied souls who are full of desires and are thus wandering in the cycle of birth and death can have all benedictions manifested before their eyes simply by receiving the dust of your lotus feet. So, purport, by the servants of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, it is very rare for a conditioned soul to free himself from the contamination of illusion and thus become established in perfect consciousness of the absolute truth. And yet this benediction was achieved by the serpent Kaliya because the Lord personally danced upon the serpent's hoods with his lotus feet. Although we conditioned souls may not receive the mercy of having the Lord dance on our head, we can receive the dust of the lotus feet of the Absolute through the Lord's representative, the bona fide spiritual master, and thus go back home, back to Godhead, forever freed from the misery and ignorance of the mundane universe. So again, the verse, page back. Tadeshanata padurapamanyaistamoljani kroda vishopyahi shaha samsara chakre brahmata sharirano yodhichitasyar vibhava samakshaha. So om gana timiranda shah gananjana shlakaya chakshuran meditam yena tasmai shigurve namaha. So, anyway, I'd like to read the purports or the commentaries of the different acharyas because it's very interesting what they've said about this. It's always very interesting. First, there's Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who says, though the dust from your feet give much more, the highest result, the materialists long to attain those feet in expectation of material enjoyment. Yet those feet, which are hard for even Lakshmi and others to attain, have been attained by Kaliya, the king of the snakes, who is full of ignorance and showed anger toward you. So, Jiva Goswami comments, That Kaliya has achieved what is to be attained in the future, not attained yet, with great troubles by the highest worshippers such as Brahma. Though Kaliya was a great offender, since he was born in an ignorant species, in which he is controlled by anger, and though he was the leader of the snakes, he attained your dust. This does not happen by thousands of sadhanas. Oh my God. It happens only by your mercy. Thus the wives exclaim, O Lord, who requests the miserable to make requests? Nata. By thinking of those feet, everyone can immediately attain all perfections. Though one identifies with the body, material wealth and spiritual powers or prema are attained. Therefore now this snake whose hoods have accepted your lotus feet should attain special prema, vibhava. And then Sanatana Goswami. Kaliya has achieved what is to be attained in the future, not attained yet, with great troubles by the highest worshippers such as Brahma. Though Kaliya was a great offender, since he was born in an ignorant species in which he was controlled by anger, and though he was the leader of the snakes, he attained your dust. This does not happen by any means. It is only by your inconceivable power, O Lord Nath, you can do, not do, or change anything. There's a deeper meaning to the words like born in ignorance. The fault of his nature arising by birth is arranged by you, referring to Krishna. Therefore, what is his offense? This is the compassion of a devotee. Actually, the fault of a lower birth is our fault. It's arranged by Krishna, but we're the ones who chose it, It's like, going in and buying a car, and it's arranged by the car dealer, but you're the one who chose the car, you rascal. You should forgive him. But they're actually making this up just to make arguments for their husband so that their husband can be forgiven by Krishna. This will be clear later. By thinking of these feet, even those attached to their bodies can immediately attain all perfections. The living entities wander about experiencing various sufferings or doing sin or pious acts in the complete cycle of birth and death, samsara chakra, where they wander in birth and death, which is like a wheel turning again and again. Though they have bodies, they can develop material powers, vibhavaha, or a wealth of prema, vibhavaha. Actually, it's the same word. Because of the supreme, infinite, astonishing power of the dust from your lotus feet. Or samsara chakra can mean in a supremely deceiving, whirling about state of liberation, the essence, sada, of the four human goals. Four human goals are Dhamma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. People cannot extricate themselves from the words about Adhyatma propounded by persons desiring liberation. In this way they wander about Brahmataha, but by the power of your lotus feet, even they can attain the direct samaksham wealth of Vaikuntha, vibhavaha. What is to be obtained has been described. So these hoods on which your 2 feet dance should attain a very special vibhava. So let me continue with this. This is actually quite interesting. So as I was reading this, actually this morning, I didn't even think about this particular connection yesterday when I read the verse. But that Kaliya has Krishna dancing on his head, right? So we are actually more fortunate because we have Krishna dancing on our tongue. Prabhupada said that. Prabhupada said when you chant the holy names, Krishna is dancing on your tongue. So we should remember that. And so, in that particular light, in spite of, Om Gana Timiranda Shah, as we're chanting every day, isn't it? I was born in the darkness of ignorance. Om Gana Timiranda Shah, Gananjana, Shlakaya, Chakshur, and Meditam, Gena Tasmai, Shigurave Namaha. So, I was born in the darkness of ignorance, but my spiritual master is so kind, he has enlightened me with a torchlight of knowledge as we chant every day. So in spite of all of us being born, well, maybe not all of you, but I'm referring to myself, but in spite of many of us being born in ignorant bodies, actually, Prabhupada said, as far as castes, not referring to the caste distinction that's now in India, but as far as the Varnas, Prabhupada said you are a mixed caste of unknown origin. In other words, we're very proud of our family. Janmaishvarya Shutasra Shibir Edamana Adalpuma. We're proud of many different things. But actually, I remember there's one devotee whose birthday it is today. And he was born in one of the 12 tribes of Israel that's supposed to be a priestly caste. Kohanim. Actually, Kohanim is actually the name of it. And so he's very proud of that. He's a priestly caste. But actually, all the Western people were kicked out of India. I mean, Prabhupada said they were originally, the Kshatriyas kicked out by Parashuram. So if we have a Western body, that means we were just like kicked out. Fortunately, our ancestors didn't get killed by Parashuram. We just ran away. So we were basically the Kshatriyas who were full of fear because we ran away from Parashuram. Whereas the ones who actually were bold and actual Kshatriyas got killed in India. But the ones who actually weren't qualified as Kshatriyas, then we actually ran away. So anyway, we're not even qualified, or the European race not even qualified as Kshatriyas, basically. So anyway, so what hope is there for us being born in the darkness of ignorance with this ignorant body? And also I was listening to a class this morning, Prabhupada's class, and Prabhupada was talking about how that animals, in one sense, are better in the material sense than animalistic human beings, because animals can be pacified by some charm or mantra. We're not talking about the Hare Krishna mantra right now. Just like you see in India, sometimes there's a snake charmer. It's actually not by the music the snake is being charmed. The actual technical thing is by the movement of the flute or musical instrument. The snake is actually being hypnotized. Just to let you know, it's not that music, he's playing, and the snake is actually cooperating. And also, if you go to Vrindavan, where they have villages of snake charmers, or snake villages, they actually take the poison out of the snake before they go around in a basket and try to collect donations from showing the people the snake. So they'll just like shove a snake in your face and say, give a donation. Because what I do is I just go, and I run away. But anyway, Prabhupada said the animals can be trained, but a human being who is like an animal can't be trained. Prabhupada said it's basically hopeless. And Prabhupada said even if you give someone, and Prabhupada was quoting this verse from the Vedic literatures, I think it may be Chanaka, Upadesho hi murkanam prakopayana shantaye. If you give a human being good instruction, it'll just make him angry. So I remember this instance when Prabhupada was giving a class in a public program in France, and Prabhupada was sitting on a normal Vyasa-san, a big seat, which is appropriate for someone like Prabhupada. And the students were getting angrier and angrier and angrier at Prabhupada, and they were using this French term, par terre, which basically means hit the earth. Terre, you understand. Terre means earth. Hit the earth. In other words, get down. So they were so offensive. And then Prabhupada basically said from now on, when he does programs in France, he should just sit in a regular chair. Or when Prabhupada arrived in different countries, sometimes he would come in a Rolls Royce. They'd pick him up in a Rolls Royce. And the newspapers would actually have I guess it was a headline that said, Swami comes rollsing in. And then Prabhupada was questioned, why, if you're so spiritual, you're coming in a Rolls Royce? And then Prabhupada, just like being very intelligent, said, Even a gold car is not good enough for a spiritual master, for the Acharya. So he really threw them for a loop, so to speak. I mean, normally if someone asks you, why are you accepting all this up, you'll just say, well, I'm sorry, basically, just my disciple. Make some excuse like that. But Prabhupada said, it's not good enough for Rolls Royce. This is really interesting. So, anyway, getting back to the point. So Prabhupada said that animals, they cannot be, animals can be tamed with mantras and everything like that, but human beings can't. And human beings can't be tamed by philosophy either. Sometimes we try to preach to people and preach to people and preach to people, and it doesn't work. So human beings can be changed by the chanting of the Lord's holy names, especially human beings in the lower modes of nature. And there's many examples of this. Actually, one thing I wanted to address here. Yeah, here it is. There's a question, there's an implicit question here based on what's been said in the purports by the Acharyas, particularly Sanatana Goswami. Are we responsible, if our body is in the mode of ignorance, are we responsible for acting ignorantly? It's a good question. Because someone could say, the devil made me do it, as the Christians say, or we can say, Maya made me do it, or, just my body's lusty, Prabhu. You can actually, I've heard devotees say that, I have a very ignorant body, my body's lusty, so what can I do? I just can't control my tongue, I can't control my mind, I can't control, of course, it's stated in the Upadeshamrita, Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krota Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udarapashta Vegam, that basically, these pushings may be there because you have a particular type of body. It's a fact. But you have to tolerate those things. And tolerating those things that you're experiencing are reactions for your previous sinful activities. That's how you have to see it. Like if you're feeling lusty, you can't control the tongue. Actually, Prabhupada, another class I heard this morning. I heard several classes of Prabhupada this morning. Prabhupada was reciting this Prasadam prayer, Dharmadeti Vayati Lobamori Sadurmati, that the tongue, Jiva Loba. Loba means lusty or just like greed. Loba means greed, actually. Your tongue is greedy. And you actually see that. Like Prabhupada even said that many stalwarts fall down in the name of Mahaprasadam. Which is interesting. People say, what's this Prasadam, Prabhu? But actually, your tongue is greedy, and one has to control it. One has to understand. The greediness of your tongue, the pushing of your belly, the pushing of your tongue, belly, genitals, mind, anger, words, that's all a karmic reaction, or token reaction if you happen to be a devotee. You should see it like that. First of all, you're responsible because you're the one who chose that and who desired that particular type of body. Don't blame others for yourself getting that body. Just like in the case of Kaliya here. He got that body because he committed an offense against a sage. We told that story many classes ago. That Kaliya, in his previous life, and I forget what his name was, he was a sage, and he had his ashram, I guess it was a cave or something like that. And some other sage came and said, hey, buddy, can I join you? Simple thing, his cave. I'm sure it wasn't a house with a septic tank and everything like that. I'm sure it was just a cave. And he said, no, it's my cave, buddy. Get your own cave. And because he said that, it was basically, of course, hospitality is extremely important in Vedic culture. If you're not hospitable to someone who comes, even if they're Atiti Narayan, that's what's called, they should be treated like, Atiti means not an appointment, Narayan, they should be treated like Narayan. If you're not like that, it's described, the punishment is, and you look at them like with eyes staring, ooh, just when I was getting ready to eat, Prabhu. Then the vultures or the crows in hell will pluck your eyeball. Nice punishment. Anyway, so Kaliya, he just, in his last life, he just refused hospitality to the sage, and the sage cursed him. He said, "You're hissing like," because sometimes when you refuse something, you hiss. You can actually see that. I mean, your eyes close like snake eyes. Why you hiss? It's true. He said, "You're hissing like a snake, so become a snake." It's actually quite interesting. And so anyway, but he was a devotee already. I mean, that's also part of his background, the reason why he got Krishna's mercy. Swapam apyasha dharmasha trayate mahato bhayat. Devotional service is never lost. So anyway, he's responsible for having that snake body. So we may not have a snake body. We may have a body that has some other deficiencies, or we do have a body that has many deficiencies. Lust, craziness. We may have our mind may be just like bananas. And we could blame our horoscope. Sometimes people come to me, "Yeah, Guru Maharaj, you have a good horoscope. That's why you're so Krishna conscious." People come. And I say, "Yeah, that's why I'm so Krishna conscious." No, I'm not Krishna conscious. But anyway, whether I am or not is another question. I said, "Because you have Sagittarius rising. And I don't even have Sagittarius in my house." That's not true. But anyway, not me. I'm not talking about me. I mean, someone else is saying that to me. That's why I'm just, zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day. I can't get it together. But we're responsible. Look at that, your horoscope. I mean, you can look at your horoscope and look at the deficiencies you have, look at the lust you have, and say, that's my token or karmic reaction. So what am I going to do about it? Not just give in to my karmic reaction. I'm going to tolerate it. And above all, I'm going to get into chanting the holy name of the Lord. And so, in that light, I'm going to present some examples of people who really had bad karma, bad bodies, bad life, and they were saved by the chanting of the Lord's holy names. I mean, these stories that you're all familiar with, like Magrari the hunter. I mean, definitely he had a body in the mode of ignorance. I mean, his father was not any better than him. His father taught him to half-kill animals. And he was taking joy, delight in seeing the animals writhe in their traps. Could you imagine that? I mean, it's horrible. Just like sees an animal just like writhe. And then Narada Muni comes around and he sets the animals free. And this Magrari gets a little angry at Narada Muni. Narada Muni shocks him by showing him, this will be your life. Just like there used to be a TV show, That Was Your Life or something like that. This will be your life in the future, and the animals are just all coming to eat him, devour him. And he says, uh-oh, what should I do? He still has all the bad qualities, but he's shocked. Sometimes, just like now it's coronavirus time, people still have the same bad qualities, but they're in a state of shock. So it's an ideal opportunity to present Krishna consciousness. Just like yesterday I was watching to a nice presentation where my godbrother Vaisheshika was talking about book distribution. He said, this is an opportunity. We got to take care of it. Take advantage of this opportunity in the next 2 months before this opportunity goes away. Like I've often said that, life gives you many opportunities. People see them as problems, but they're challenges and opportunities. So he was presenting us, and he was presenting how in the UK in like one day they did like 10,000 pounds of books. And now they're having these festivals with, let's say, 100, 200 devotees on Zoom simultaneously making individual calls and sharing in the chat window, sharing what's happening. Hey, I just sold a set. It says, wow, amazing. Why? Because people are in a state of shock. Of course, some Americans are in a state of anger. That's a little bit different. But I think most people, unless they have a redneck, but most people are actually in a state of shock. Oh my God. And they're seeing people die. And they're being reminded, just like McGrary. They're being reminded, what? How are they being reminded? That death is imminent. Because in America, we don't see it so much. In India, I remember the first time I went to India, I walked to the Ganges River one time, and there was a cremation going on. And I was just shocked. There's a dead body. I'd never seen a dead body my whole life, except for the unfortunate frogs that I dissected when I was in school. But like Prabhupada said about biology, poor frogs. And Prabhupada was asked, should we learn biology? Prabhupada said, poor frogs. So, oh my God. One day I'll be there. Oh my God, I better chant, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So, with McGrary, getting back to the story of McGrary, it was an opportunity. Narada Muni arranged for not the coronavirus, but Narada Muni arranged for the virus of the future. Just like that story, Christmas Carol, isn't it? Yeah, the ghost of Christmas future. Actually, I was thinking about that. That's showing, what was the bad guy's name? Ebenezer Scrooge's future. And he decided to change his karma at that point. So we're all like this Ebenezer Scrooge. And Krishna's giving us a wake-up call, or he's giving the whole humanity a wake-up call. So Narada Muni gave McGrary this wake-up call. And then McGrary said, oh my God, what should I do? But he still wasn't purified. The shock doesn't purify anybody. Because people just go back to their old ways. You're going to see that after the coronavirus. People go back. I mean, there was the Spanish flu. People went back to their old ways. The war, people go back to they actually get more attached to material enjoyment. There was a psychologist I was listening. He was describing what happened after World War II, what happened after World War I. There was a brief lull, and then boom, people just went, put their pedal to the metal and went more for material enjoyment. So you got that opportunity. So Narada Muni took advantage of that opportunity. He told McGrary, chant the holy names. And McGrary was so shocked that he decided to do it. And because he chanted the holy names, because Krishna was dancing, as we described in the beginning of this class, Krishna was dancing on his tongue. Hey, Tulsi, put yourself on mute, please. Put yourself on mute. Hare Krishna. So because he was dancing, because Krishna was dancing on his tongue, he became pure, which is actually more important than actually dancing on the head. Why is that? Takshi Krishna namadi nabavet grayamindriya sevan mukhe hi jivado swayameva spirachada. Because we have our attachments in this world. Whoops. Atakshi Krishna namadi nabavet grayamindriya. We cannot perceive the spiritual realm. But if we use our tongue, again that word jiva, Takshi Krishna jiva, nabavet grayamindriya, with our senses are not so effective. That if we use our tongue to chant the Lord's holy names and chant about Krishna's pastimes and hear, the tongue in the ear, Shravanam Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, then we can get purified. So that's the whole point. So somehow or other, we have to be continuing, just like, we're not like McGrary that we've had like a view, at least I haven't had a view of my future. Of course, sometimes I look in the mirror and I get a view and it shocks me. But we haven't had a view of the future like McGrary. So we have to continually hear. That's why Prabhupada, in his purports, continually talks about the material world. Because we'll forget. We forget the future. We forget that death is imminent. We forget that everything is temporary in this world. So we have to hear about it again and again, because we're not on that, at least I'm not, sorry. We're not on that platform. So you actually see, in most of the cases where people with demoniac bodies became Krishna conscious, that there was some shock there. Another case, historical case, is Valmiki. You've heard me tell this story many times. Valmiki was shocked too, because he was told about his karma, and he was also shocked because he saw that there was no love in the material world. When he went to his wife and children to see if they would accept some of his karma, they absolutely refused. He was aware. He was a Vedic Lecture or a Vedic whatever it was, but because he understood the philosophy. And then that was a shock, and so it was time. Okay, Valmiki, chant Ram. I can't chant Ram. Okay, Mara, 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 Ra, Ra, Ra. So what was the impetus? Dhruva Maharaj was also shocked. Wasn't he? He was shocked because he couldn't get the love of his... I mean, that's important for a father, for a son, isn't it? Like I was just talking about, I was listening to the news, and they were talking about social distancing, why you shouldn't send young kids to school. I mean, real young, like kindergarten, first grade, because they're not going to, when they get home after they picked up the virus, they're not going to respect social distancing with their grandparents. You understand what I'm talking about? Like a 5-year-old, Dhruva Maharaj was 5-year-old. I mean, what if the parent says to the kids, stay away from me? It's traumatic. We actually had that in the movement when sometimes the pujaris, they would have young kids, and they say, you're Moochie. I'm going on the altar. You're Moochie. So it's traumatic, right? I mean, think about it. From a young kid's perspective, to be denied the affection. So here's Dhruva Maharaj. He was put in a traumatic situation. Don't minimize it. It's a little 5-year-old kid. You cannot sit on your father's lap, kid, because you're not my kid. And so, traumatic situation leads to determination in spiritual life. So, anyway, there's many, many stories about this. Of course, there are stories about living entities in lower modes of nature being liberated without going through a traumatic situation. There's Lord Chaitanya and the dogs and things like that. Lord Chaitanya in the Jharikhanda forest getting the tigers